is a 1977 Triumph Bonneville 750. I rebuilt the engine and bored it out. Now when I rebuild, especially a British motorcycle, I take them all the way down to the crank. The reason is the British left a lot of sand in the castings, and you must clean this out. So you go to your smallest little oiling port in the crank for the wrist pins and start from there to rebuild your engine. This one did have a lot of sand in the engine. It's bored out to 820, which is the furthest I could take it over, and it has an incredible amount of torque. I can wheelie the bike, but it's too hard on the front end. To it.
So is that from the factory or just patina over time?
The patina of the antique paint. Yeah. It's all original, 1977, and this is the bike that I built from. Took the whole thing apart. I had been racing it original, and I burnt holes through the pistons from running it too hot.
Yeah.
And racing. So I rebuilt the whole engine and the transmission during the COVID about 3 years ago. I'm about to hit 1,000 miles. When I hit 1,000 miles on a brand new motor, I'll readjust all the valves and kind of go through the sprockets and make sure everything's aligned. Here's the 77 Bonneville. She's only original once. That's why when I restore the engine, transmission, every chain and sprocket on this all the way through is new. And but yet I leave everything original in paint and the upholstery. They're only original once, and I love to do concourse restorations. And this is still something to be restored exteriorly. Now let's see if we can get it started. These Triumphs don't have a fuel pump. Everything is gravity. So I'm going to turn the fuel on. Now to go down into the carburetors, you have to pump it. In English, call that tickling. So I'm going to tickle it. And there's the fuel. Now it's dripping out, means that the fuel has come to the top and the float is at the top dead center. I'm going to do the same thing, tickling on the other side. Okay, now to start this baby, all motorcycles start in neutral. So first thing we're going to do is mount it and make sure I'm in neutral. You want to come around this side to start. As you can see, the motorcycle really needs to be re-rubbered. This is all still original. The grips have been changed. And give it a little gas. When I build these carburetors for the Bay Area, I take out the chokes. One of the reasons is I love tuning at sea level and static tuning. So I've already removed the chokes in both of these carburetors, and we'll see if my theory works. Now I'm going to roll it over with the power off to find top dead center. If I built this engine right, it should start on the very first kick. So I'm going to roll it over, make sure I'm in neutral. Okay, now I'm at the true bottom. I'll come to top dead center. Give the power to it. No choke, little gas. It has a lot of torque. I'm 190 pounds kicking over. Because I built this engine, I listen to it, it speaks to me on the valve adjustments and the things like that. Go. Now, always turn your fuel off. They tend to leak gas if you don't. Now, I'm going to go get the BMW, put it here. This is a 1974 BMW R90/6 is the model. And it's 900 cc's. And this is original paint. And the wonderful story on this motorcycle, one of my motorcycle heroes in Northern California is Red Predgemore. And Reggie bought this bike new from Butler and Smith. That's why it's a red one in New York, and had it shipped to California. At that time, BMW only produced black and white, basically. And Butler and Smith in New York, for the American market, had them colored red to compete with the Japanese market in the early 70s. So this is original, and I am the third owner. It had been in my BMW club for 46 years with the same owner. And it was a friend of mine, and he can't ride anymore, so he passed this on to me. And I'm going to start it up here. Similar to the Triumph, gravity feed. But this one you don't have to tickle. It's all automatic, because this is what you call a diaphragm, a Bing diaphragm carburetor. So we'll add the gas to it. If you can come around to the back here, I can show you how the European bikes start different. Now this one starts on the side. If you come around, I will show you. Okay, so I'm adding gas to the carburetor here. This is the starter. Now on this is the same as the Triumph, they all start in neutral. So I'm gonna put the key on, and you might not be able to see it, but I have a green light, that's your neutral light. And I have a red light, which means generator power, and I have a yellow light, which is oil. I love the BMWs. They have more instrument cluster than most. A lot of them I drive, you'll have definitely just a speedometer. If you're lucky, a tach. Okay, so to start this one is very European. Now this has a choke. So I'm going to go ahead and put the choke on. And let me get on it. Okay, it doesn't feel like neutral. Neutral light is on. So here we go. My first kick, I slipped off, but it should start the first kick. It hasn't run in 2 days. So it usually starts on the first kick. That's with the choke on right now. You can hear the RPM, and it's running high. When these things are warmed up, I try to set the RPM 800 to 1000. Right now, I can hear it as a mechanic, just above that. So I'm going to slow it down. And now you can hear your RPM dropping. You slow it down a little more, see it show idle. There's your idle speed. 800. I'm going to pull this one around the front. Okay, I'm going to pull around the front now. Okay. So smooth.
Nice.
Old bikes. Is that it for today?
I think so. Anything else you want to tell me about your passion?
Well, I'd like to do another filming with my English Velisets,
Okay.
and I have 2 of them.
Okay.
So we'll look at that for the future.
Let's do that for next time.
Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank
you,
you.
Don.